I think I might just treat the second video in this little review of Pablosdog's video just as a kind of a reaction video, and I'll let his video play here and pause it from time to time to point things out. So we're starting with where we left off, La Conchita down here, and the vineyard buildings and that little factory up above. And he's just going to gradually pan down the coast and point things out as we move along.
So I'll pan down toward Ventura.
So let's reorient this. So our observer location is up here at the UC Santa Barbara campus parking area. And we started out looking at this little factory area, La Conchita's right, where in the middle of the screen where I'm circling the mouse, and we were panning down these hills. And then it levels out and turns flat, and that's Ventura. There's a whole nice town there. What we see in between is platform Hogan. There's some other platforms, ABC, Habitat, all right in there. So that where I paused the image, we were looking past platform Hogan and this last spit of hillside that comes down where Ventura starts. There's the hillside coming down, so there's Ventura right there. There's platform Hogan.
That's platform Hogan. 17.8 miles. And behind it is the Ventura Point area at about 32 miles. Quite a bit of inferior mirage going on. You can tell by looking at the rounding of the land to the left.
So there's some mirage happening. We can see it here. What we don't see is any hide nor hair of Ventura, or the hills behind it for that matter, but we'll see those later on. Now, interestingly, there is a 12-story tower. Where did it go? There it is. Right there on the waterfront. 12-story hotel at an average floor-to-floor height of probably around 12 feet. That tower would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 140 to 150 feet high. So taller than the oil platform considerably, and right on the water. But we don't see hide nor hair of it in this image here. So you figure what that's all about. Something else we don't see. We don't see the bottom half of the platform. We see again that there's a bit of mirage happening. I can see the mirror line right there. And then I can see sky reflected down to here. So we have a narrow band of mirage happening right here with the sky coming down, and that's consistent with what we see at the bottom of the hill. But we don't see any of the substructure of this oil platform, which looks like this. That's platform Hogan pictured. There's all this substructure that we're not seeing.
The sky's reflected under that little rounding.
Now we start to see some of the other oil rigs. Again, we don't see any sign of substructure. There does seem to be a mirror line right about there.
It's platform Houchin, a little bit less than 17.8 miles. And Conejo Peak at 51 miles and just at 1,800 feet in the background.
So I should mention that Ventura falls between, it's to the left of Conejo Peak, so now we're kind of looking past it, sort of over it and past it. In fact, let's check that on the map. The red line connects our observation point to Conejo Mountain up here. So it's actually looking right over Ventura. So we're not seeing, so we should be seeing Ventura here. I suppose his thesis is that it's all being buried inside this narrow band of mirage, which is smaller than the height of my mouse cursor, smaller than the cursor there. But nonetheless, a 140 some tall building, 140 plus foot building, we're not seeing.
Platform Henry. Again, just 17 miles or so. And then Saddle Peak, that distant peak. It's got two humps on it, looks like a saddle. The right-hand side has some repeater antennas on it. It's at 72 miles, and I think it's 2860 feet, something like that. Pan across the Conejo here. The peaks here on the right are about 2,800 to 3,000 feet, in between 50 and 55 miles. There's Platform Hill House.
Platform Hill House is right here on the map. So roughly the same distance as Hogan, Houchin, and Henry, within a mile or so. And again, we don't see any sign of a substructure. Hard to identify exactly where the mirage is happening. Could be right there, horizontally right through there. We aren't seeing any reflection of this arm coming off of it, so that does seem to be falling outside of it. It looks like the miraged band is about that much.
Platform A.
Notice that we're now seeing more of the platform. We can see more of the substructure here. And again, we do still have some of that mirage happening right here, but we are seeing more of the structure, and you'll see why in a minute.
Platform B with George benchmark up to the left there. It's 55 miles, 1,900 feet.
Looks like there may be mirroring happening right along that line there. It does appear that we are seeing substructure from above coming down to this point. We are seeing substructure, and then we're seeing mirroring.
Platform C.
And platform C. Again, it looks like the mirror line is right about there. And we are seeing substructure. And so I will point out that we are looking at oil platforms that are considerably closer to us, which might explain why we're seeing more of the substructure. So let's get a length on one of those. Let's measure a distance here. Whereas the other platforms were 17.8 miles away. ABC, let's check that one there. Now we're talking about 13.6 miles away. So that's considerably closer, and lo and behold, we start to see the substructure. Can you think of any reason why we might be seeing the substructure of the platforms that are closer to us and not be seeing the substructure of the platforms that are further away, and not seeing anything of Ventura, which is even further away, which has a waterfront hotel of 140 to 150 feet high? I think these are some questions that would be worthwhile for the author of this video, Pablosdog, to explore. Can that all be happening in this little band of mirage right here? How would we determine that? Or do we not bother and do we just say it is happening and carry on? That's a nice shot right there. You've got A, B, and C, and you've got these which are closer, and you can see the substructure. You've got this one which is farther away. I think that's habitat, if I remember right, and you don't see it, or maybe this one's habitat. Well, closer ones you see substructure, further ones you don't.
That's La Jolla Peak up to the right. That was Laguna Peak, and this is Magoo Peak at 50 miles and 1260.
And he's going to point out again, we can see that there's some refraction happening here.
Elevation, and again you can see the rounding of the land and the inferior mirage reflecting, because the ground is essentially warmer than the air. When the air is warmer than the ground, you can see the thin strip of land that sticks out there that defines Point Magoo Naval Air Station.
Let's see if we can find that on our map here. That's the area he's talking about. So he says you can see that. I wonder if he means you can see that from the UC Santa Barbara campus. That would be very interesting. I'd like to see a picture of that. Pablosdog, if you're watching this, can you provide a video footage or a high quality photograph, which would get a better resolution than a video of this naval base from UC Santa Barbara campus? If so, that would be really great. Let's see that.
Sticks out quite a bit to the right. And today it's being hidden in the inferior mirage. Over and out.
Well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. That was the rest of his video. He ended with an over and out rather abruptly, and here we are looking at this beautiful coast of Santa Barbara. Well, what did we see from that? We saw that we didn't see Ventura. We didn't see the 140-some foot tall oceanfront hotel in Ventura. We did see oil platforms, some of which were completely, the lower halves were completely missing. Others, which happened to be closer, showed their lower parts. And we saw a bit of mirage. I guess the world must be flat. What do you think? Do you think the world's flat? Must be flat. Yep, I say it's flat. Okay, we say it's flat now. Have a great day, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm not sure if it was worth making or publishing, but I've already done it, so we'll just go with it. Bye-bye.